This episode of Buy Black Podcast is brought to you by Haptic Consulting. Haptic Consulting specializes in maximizing the value your organization gets from its training budget by focusing on business needs, eliminating unnecessary training development, and helping you build a culture of engagement from the executive level down. Visit www.hapticconsulting.com to learn how I can help you develop better leaders, happier employees, and a more profitable company culture. Or you can email me at gerald@hapticconsulting.com. That's GERALD@hapticconsulting.com. Now let's get into the show.
A lot of people think that you rank, and I've learned this myself, that you rank a website. Well, it's not real. That's not how it works. You actually rank individual web pages. So every page is essentially a brand new website. If that's how you look at, that's how you want to look at it. So as you build out a new page, you want to think, okay, what's my competitor? What is there a page that my competitor has that doesn't have as much information that I can beat? Because they've already shown that there's a market for that stuff out there.
Buy Black Podcast, episode 33. Get your business on Google's front page with Darrin, Marion, and Rattel SEO. Welcome to Buy Black, the only podcast dedicated to helping you find, connect with, and support Black-owned businesses. We're on a mission to bring consumers and business owners together to ignite the global Black economy. I'm your host, Gerald Jones, and if you're a Black business owner or a socially conscious consumer, you've joined the right community. Ready? Let's get to work. Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another great episode of Buy Black. Today, I'm bringing you another great interview with Mr. Darrin Marion. He is the owner of Rattel SEO. It's Indiana's #1 SEO company for small business. Now, if you are not familiar with SEO, today's show is going to be an eye-opener for you. I definitely recommend that you take out a pen and paper, start taking notes, because if you have any kind of online presence, the things you learn from Darrin today can help you get on the road to getting found in Google, Bing, and Yahoo searches. So I'm not going to spend too much time before we jump in talking about the show. Let's quickly just give you an update. We have a new 5-star rating on iTunes. We have another new 5-star rating on the Apple app. So if you are out there and you are giving us those 5 stars, we absolutely appreciate it. You may hear my dog in the background yelling and screaming, and if you do, my apologies for that. But he's a butthole, and that's what he does. But yeah, so if you're out there giving us all of these wonderful 5-star ratings, really appreciate it. If you can give us reviews to go along with it, let the people know what you think about the show and the content and what they're going to get out of it. That is always greatly appreciated. Other than that, just wanted to remind you, we are always available to talk further about the things that we learn on the show over on Facebook in the Facebook group Buy Black Podcast Community. So head over, join that Facebook group, join the conversation. If you haven't done it yet, download the app. You can go to my website. That's buyblackpodcast.com/app, and you'll be able to download either the Apple or the Google version of the app. But other than that, let's jump straight into this show with Darrin, because I guarantee you, you're going to walk away today with a better understanding of how to get yourself, your business, your podcast, your blog, whatever it is, found in Google, found on those search engines. And that's the #1 step to bringing in revenue. People can't buy from you if they can't find you. So let's let Darrin teach us how we can do better search engine optimization on our websites. Hey guys, welcome back to Buy Black, your only podcast dedicated to helping you find and connect with Black-owned businesses. Today, we are going to talk to Darrin Marion. I'm really excited for the interview that we've got coming for you guys today. Darrin was actually introduced to me by a mutual friend who I was telling that I was building my website out, but I didn't know anything about SEO, and he was like, hey, I've got a guy that you need to talk to. He can get your SEO right. And he introduced me to Darrin, and absolutely changed the way that my website worked, has boosted the number of you who are finding the website, who are finding the show, and the download numbers absolutely represent it. And it would be a travesty for me to not connect you guys with an SEO guru like Darrin, who can help you get your stuff together as well. So, hey, Darrin, thanks for joining me on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. Travesty, man, that's a strong word, man. I like that.
I mean, it's true though. It's true. So yeah, we connected here. It's almost April now. So about 3 months ago, right as we were getting the turn of the year, and over the course of a literal 2-day weekend, you helped me to right size my entire website and get it ready for the Googles, the Bings, the Yahoos. And honestly, man, I can't thank you enough for what you did and what you're continuing to throw that knowledge at me to improve my online presence.
Right on. Thank you very much. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
No, this is great. So what I want to do, I don't want to take too much time, with the introduction. Your knowledge and your guruism is going to speak for itself. So let's just jump straight into the interview, man. I'm going to hand it over to you. Just tell us a little bit about your background. Let the folks get to know a little bit about you.
Okay. Yeah, I started off as I went to Grambling State University, HBCU. I started my, first job was like a stockbroker. And I ended up becoming a member of the largest class action settlement for racial discrimination in U.S. history. I worked for Merrill Lynch, like in a period of 10 years. Something like 1,200 black brokers that worked for the company. Well, after that experience working with Merrill, I just had to do something else. So I went to go work for Starbucks as a barista. And it's 735 hours straight Starbucks barista.
Wow.
And as I said, I started to work there. Starbucks, they don't give a lot of people overtime. They tell you they do, but they don't. So what I would do is I'd call around to all the different locations and I would pick up as many hours as I could. And before I knew it, I was at 40 hours and my proficiency was through the roof. Well, right after that, my manager, she gave me Howard Schultz's book, Pour Your Heart Into It. And when I read the book and I was like, I got it. I get why people are coming to pay Starbucks all this money over and over again for this product and how to really create a good product, something that people will love, that you could build a tribe around. And so then I figured, I was like, well, let me do my own thing. So I taught myself how to roast coffee. And started a company called Darrin's Coffee Company. It was just me and my wife and kids. We started off in the kitchen, roasting the popcorn popper. About 2,300 pounds of coffee by hand. Well, as I'm growing that business, I wanted to learn how to make myself look large in a place where I was one guy, really the only black coffee roaster in Indiana. And I wanted to make myself look large in front of everybody else. So I started taking these classes on SEO, and marketing and digital marketing through LinkedIn. And I saw that I was getting a lot of props, and I was showing I was ranking on first page for like Indiana Coffee Roaster. I think I still am. I know I am for Indiana Coffee Roaster and a bunch of other keywords. I figured, let me try to take this thing national. And then I started ranking nationally for keywords. Well, in doing this for myself, I then started to offer the service to other small business owners that would come in, that I'd meet my coffee shop. And then eventually I said, hey man, maybe I could really form something and form a company. So that's when I formed Rattel SEO. Rattel, or the rattle, is actually the honey badger. One of the most awesomest animals you could ever imagine. It's an African animal, and it eats what it wants to eat. When it's hungry, it goes. Nothing's gonna stop it. If it's lions eating, hey man, honey badger still, they don't care what. It's going to go through them lines to eat food. So, I figured, I was like, you know what, man, the honey badgers of SEO. We're going to rank. The honey badger takes what it wants to take. We're going to rank what we want to rank. So that's kind of what formed Rattel SEO, man. And that's kind of the rest kind of brought me up to this point.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So we had that conversation when we first met, and I thought that was one of the greatest marketing kind of angles that I've ever heard, because everybody learned about the honey badger a few years ago with that YouTube video with the guy that was just talking about honey badger don't care. Honey badger just do what he wants, right? And it was funny. A lot of people know it. Like immediately you're connecting with something that is already kind of in the public sphere that people are familiar with. But then also you're putting a meaning to it that's associated with you, because you're talking about, okay, this is an animal that's derived from Africa, so it's tying to my personal roots. And it's an animal that just goes out there and says, "This is mine. I'm taking what's mine out in the marketplace." And I think it fits your personality, and it definitely fits the way that you go about running your company, which I think is really, really cool. I want to back up a little bit though, because we've talked a couple of times about Darrin's Coffee, but we haven't really gone into detail about that business. And I think I forgot that your coffee business is the thing that actually got you on the road to the SEO business. So if you can do me a favor and just go backwards and talk a little bit more about that progression and how your passion for coffee led you to the SEO business, and a little bit more about that coffee business to begin with.
No problem, man. It's like I've been doing it. I started Darrin's Coffee back in 2010, and that's when a guy, one of my first customer, he gave me $20 for a bag of Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, and he said, "Well, I guess now you got a company." And that was that was March of 2010. I was like, "Yeah, I guess I do, man. I got a product, and somebody's willing to pay me for it." So I took a raw material. So as a coffee roaster, I'm a manufacturer. So I take a raw material and I convert it into a finished product. So, and which is a food manufacturer. It's not like, it's funny, man, the way coffee works. It's a labor of love. A lot of people may not realize this, man, but coffee only grows in third world countries, really. And so you got these families that live up in the mountains that are packing donkeys of coffee bags and taking them down to the market in order to sell them. And then we get them here as a specialty coffee. That's the kind of coffee I deal in. Specialty coffee. It's, specialty coffee coffee has what's called a Q score or quality score. And it goes from 100 down to 80. 100 to 90 is outstanding. 89 to 85 is excellent. And 84 to 80 is good. And the lowest coffee I ever offered or ever have offered, probably ever will, is an 88.
Okay.
So I try to sell the best coffee that you could imagine. And the only way I could do that is by putting my brand out there, by putting my product out there. And there's no other place that you can expose your product to a marketplace like the internet. A lot of people say Amazon. Well, why not? If I can sell something on Amazon, why couldn't I sell it on my website and sell it for more? I mean, it's my product and nobody can tell my story like I can. And so that's what SEO is really about, is really figuring out the best way to tell your story so that other people can understand your story in a query.
Love it. Sticking on the coffee company real quick. So I'm looking at darrinscoffee.com. And by the way, if you're listening out there in podcast world, if you look in the show notes, you'll see a link to www.darrinscoffee.com, darrinscoffee.com. Check out that link. Not only does he have his coffee on the website, but there are also some premium products that are sold on the website as well that you can shop for. And that's kind of what I wanted to ask the next question of. These products that you have up here, are these products that you have like a drop shipping agreement with manufacturers on? How are you selling the premium products that go along with the coffee here on the website?
The affiliates. I'm doing affiliate links.
Okay.
So, a couple are like a couple of books that are on there. They're an affiliate site, the Coffee Roaster, that's the Amazon affiliate. And the others are First in Coffee affiliates, man. So it all really ties,
Yeah.
Again and again to find these keywords and be able to spread that out to the masses, man. I mean, everybody drink. I mean, another thing I love about coffee is that no matter what, there's a very, very, very small minority that don't like anything about coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if someone doesn't like of it or drink it, they like the smell of it. Or it brings back to a fond memory. Back in, they may have been with the grandmother, with waking up in the morning, Sunday morning, smelling coffee and grapefruit juice. That's fond memories that are all around coffee. Whenever I would meet someone or still I have a business meeting, I always do it over a cup of coffee because it's not obligatory, but to solidifies a relationship like a good cup of coffee. And that's why, the motto of Darrin's Coffee is everyone in great coffee.
I love that. So you just, every time we talk, I learn something new anyway. But you just opened my eyes to something else. We've already on this show, we've had an episode where we talked about the drop shipping model of selling products where you don't actually take ownership of the product until it sells and set up a website like that. However, I had never considered the idea of using Amazon affiliate links on your website, understanding that, you're going to get an affiliate commission whenever something sells. You're not going to get as much money as if you were selling this product, but it's literally a zero risk, high reward, and it boosts your SEO associated with your website. And you make money anytime somebody buys this product, even if they're buying it from somebody else. Because if I was to look at your site, which I'm doing right now, and look at all the products that are available here, I don't know the difference between whether, I'm buying it from you or buying it from somewhere else. I just know that I'm getting a product I need to help me consume the product that I'm getting directly from you. And so there's another value to you there, but it's also added value to me as a customer. I had never considered that before.
Right on, man.
Love it. So all right. I love talking about the coffee because I'm one of those people that does love coffee, but I won't spend too much time dealing with the coffee. Let's talk a little bit more about the progression of retail SEO before we even get into kind of explaining for all of us out in the audience who don't really understand SEO at all. But let's talk about the progression of that company. You started it up to kind of help you with this business, and then you turned it into a business. So talk to me about how you've been growing that company.
Okay. Yes. Again, wanting to make Darrin's Coffee, and really kind of what really got my others or kind of got me going, was when Darrin's Coffee had gotten hacked, and I needed to try to figure out how to solve problem. So not only had I leaned on my experience I learned with SEO, then I learned I was able to SEO my way to find a good answer to a problem in the site. And so I picked up a whole, completely set, brand new set of skills right there. Yeah. So, but, onto the, really with retail, how I built it, how I kind of built the business was with free offer, like the unrefusable offer. It's an offer that's so awesome that you can't turn it down. In e-commerce, there's a rule, or in digital marketing, there's a rule, is the person who's willing to spend the most for the customer wins. Because once you have that customer, you have them for life and you can monetize it always. So
what was it? What was the unrefusable offer?
Well, it's a number of different offers, man. It could be like for an attorney. I did an attorney just a couple of weeks ago, and I said, hey man, let me rank your website for this keyword, that keyword, and this keyword for free. And if you like it, hey man, I would love for you to hire me on as your SEO consultant. If not, then, at the bottom, at the least, you had someone who had some SEO skills kind of look at your stuff and to be able to help you rank something. And generally, when you come in and you really do a good job for people, which is really kind of what I like to do. And I think that's what everybody wants to do, is to do a good job, do the best job possible. It gives you, it just puts good energy around your business.
And then I think it helps, right, that you, at least from the things that you've shown me, right, you've got your other websites that are out there, kind of some websites, some things where you just kind of play around for keywords and see if you can rank for this and rank for that. And one of the really impressive things to me is that, when you say, I'm the honey badger, I can rank when I want, where I want, and then you show me, like, check out this website that I built around this keyword, where it ranks on Google, where it ranks Bing, and it's like, oh man, it's crazy. We're pulling up Google and Bing, looking at these keywords, and your thing is, number 1, 2, or 3 on every single one of them. that's extremely impressive. That's great marketing. I think it really impressed me. How long have you been running Retail SEO, and kind of what's the trajectory that business is on right now? Is it still Darrin's Coffee is the main business, or Retail kind of taking over?
They're pretty much both. They're a parity now. Darrin's Coffee is been around since 2010, so it's real difficult. 2010, a manufacturer since 2010, so it's real difficult to a manufacturer that manufactures an addictive product. So it's real difficult to overtake that one, man. But Retail is quickly becoming a little Incredible Hulk. So right now, we're on track to do. I need to run numbers or
no.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm totally fine.
No,
with
it's
that.
just kind of overall, I guess, which one is take the most of your energy these days? Which one is kind of trending?
It'd be Retail. Retail's taking up, Retail's taking up the majority of my energy at this point.
Cool.
It's like when I first started off roasting coffee. Like I learned how to roast coffee 2,300 pounds by hand, and so it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time and energy to put that in there. And that's kind of what happened with what's going on with Retail is I'm trying to get that same amount of mastery. And the only way you can do it is with dedicated time. A lot of time.
That's funny. I was in a class today. I was actually in an instructor training course that I built a few years back to some of my colleagues, and that was one of the things that we talked about is mastery. I don't remember which Malcolm Gladwell book it is that was talking about 10,000 hours of dedicated practice will make you a master of something. Outliers. That's what I thought. Yep. Yeah. And Robert Greene's got another book as well that's called Mastery, and he talks about the exact same thing, right? You can't really call yourself an expert of something if you haven't put in the work, no matter how much read, if you haven't put in the work and practiced and failed and messed up and fixed it and just put in all that effort, you can't really ever call yourself the master of it. So so what I want to do right now is I want to jump to a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to roll into the main section of the show. You're going to teach all of us can't even spell SEO some of the basics and understanding why it's important, what it's there for, and kind of what we can improve our online presence. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back. Hey everybody, thanks again for listening to Buy Black Podcast every week. If you love the show and want to help us spread the word, Buy Black Podcast merch is the best way you can show your support. We've got a growing selection of high-quality men's and women's tees, plus the Don't Ask Permission, Change the World coffee mugs. Be one of the first 100 people to order and get 20% off your entire cart when you spend $50 or more. Head over to buyblackpodcast.com/shop and use the coupon code FIRST100 to get yours. Again, that's buyblackpodcast.com/SHOP and the coupon code FIRST100. Now let's get back to the show. All right, guys, we're back, and it is time to roll into the main section. So Darrin is going to teach us a little bit about SEO, and I'm probably going to have some more questions for him because I'm learning new stuff every time that he starts talking. So let me hand it on over to him. Darrin, teach us a little bit. What is SEO? Why should we care about it?
Okay. Well, SEO is a search engine optimization, meaning you get found on Google. Essentially, that's it. Google is a math problem. It's an algorithm, and the algorithm has certain aspects or certain different points that it likes, and it wants to reward its customer, and its customer is a searcher. So if you're on when you're out looking for something, if you're out and about looking for a restaurant, you're going to type in your phone, best restaurant, Indiana. And you want to be able to show up. You want as a small business owner, ideally you want to be able to show up there. Well, Google has a certain way that it looks at a website or looks at your online presence that will reward a business for giving it that information easiest. So it's all a matter of capitalism.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Where the the person that gets the better answer, that gets the better result, that's the person that gets the reward. So it's a self-policing system that's always getting better and better and better. But on that other end, it's getting more and more difficult, or it can become more difficult to find arbitrage.
Okay. So what are some of the things, and obviously we know since that algorithm is constantly learning and Google through and changes this algorithm every once in a while, but there's got to be some constants, some things that we can always do that'll help us improve our visibility online. So what are some of the main things that people on when they're trying to get found?
Okay. Yeah, the one thing is that people should focus on, and thanks for bringing me back in. I can start to get really abstract with SEO. But yeah, thanks for bringing me back in. The one thing that people should always look for is to actually talk about their product, is to search or to write about their product or talk about their product from the eyes of someone that has never heard anything about it before, doesn't know anything about this customer, or doesn't know anything about, let's say, if you sell paper towels, you want to be able to talk on your website to someone as if they have never heard anything in their whole life about paper towels and why these paper towels should be good. And that's called on-page SEO. So that's really the more descriptive that you are on page with that key, not key, but that indicator.
Mm-hmm.
That gives a good signal to saying, hey, this is the best answer for someone who's looking to search. Now, let's say if you're selling something online, which usually if someone is online, they're online because they're trying to sell some sort of product or service. The more information that they put out about their product, the better, right?
Okay.
So because of that, that means that more you put out about the more good information you put about your product, the better. You have to think. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to say this. You have to be able to think like someone that's looking for you. I mean, that's the easiest way that you could do it, is think about somebody that's looking for you. What would they, this is something I always say to a new customer. If I was looking for you online, what would I say?
Okay. And see, that's the biggest problem for me, right? Because I'm a person, I hate talking about me. I mean, we've had these conversations several times. I hate promoting me. I hate talking about me. I have a hard time kind of wrapping my head around, bragging about me or saying, hey, this is what makes me special and stand out from everybody else. But essentially you're saying, that's what you got to get comfortable with.
Yeah, you do. And you have to talk about the product. Now, and that's something I learned. I learned with Darrin's Coffee is a lot of times I began to have my website. I would talk about different experiences in the community, different things that quips and little bits of life that I learned. And what ends up happening is your website then becomes more about these experiences and less about your product. So that's what most people forget. That's kind of what we neglect is to say, oh, we want to talk about our experiences, and just as humans, the more we begin to open up, and it's kind of when you sit at the chair or laying down on the psychiatrist's couch. At first, you don't want to say anything. Next thing you know, you tell them, you tell them when the time when you were 3 years old, you snuck some cookies. So that's fine. It's fine, dandy, that we have those stories, but the customer wants to know about the product. Okay. And how we can best relate that product to fit their needs.
Golden. So you use this term about on-page SEO. Main thing being, talk about the product, be descriptive, help people find you. What are some of the other key elements to on-page SEO? You can get descriptive, some of the details. And then also, what are some of the other things, as far as off-page or linking or some of these other hear about that help us rank in the search engines?
Sure. Okay. Another thing about on page is you want to always put images. And something that a lot of people neglect, and that's something that I noticed, is whenever they're loading an image up onto their particular blog post, is they don't retitle the image the name of the keyword. So for instance, if you have let's say you're out and let's say you sell cars, and you're out and you're taking pictures of these cars with your iPhone, and then you load up those images onto your computer with the iPhone. Usually the file name is IMG 601 or 602 or et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Well, instead of naming it the IMG 601, 602, take the time and get descriptive with that title. The title can be as descriptive as you want it to be because it's an image.
Mm-hmm.
So when you load that image up to that particular blog post or product post, it then is another ranking factor. So an on-page ranking factor.
Got it.
Something else is the alt tag. Whenever you go, and it's dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You want to have a heading that has the keyword in it, whatever when I say keyword, that's the key phrase or the key term that you want that page to be known for.
Okay.
A lot of people think that you rank, and I've learned this myself, that you rank a website. Well, it's not real. That's not how it works. You actually rank individual web pages. So every page is essentially a brand new website. If that's how you look at, that's how you want to look at it.
Okay.
So as you build out a new page, you want to think, okay, what's my competitor? What is there a page that my competitor has that doesn't have as much information that I could beat? Because they've already shown that there's a market for that stuff out there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You have McDonald's, they have burgers. Well, if you go to McDonald's and you learn how to make a burger, you think, what can I do better? And then that's when you open up your own restaurant and you say, all right, this is what I can do better, so I'll be able to provide a better result to the searcher, to the customer. Something else with the images on the website, on the actual web page, is you want to put what's called the alt, and that's the alternate text. Now, the reason why you want to fill that alt tag in with whatever that image is about is because there are people who are visually impaired that still need to be able to search, and they may have a reader. So if someone was visually impaired, Google had a searcher that was visually impaired, and they came up to a site, and one site had the images that were named after the keyword, and they had an alt tag or alt description that described what that image was,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to another one. Which one do you think is Google going to give preference to? The one that's more descriptive. So there are many, many different things that you need to put onto a site in order that you can. There are over 501 different levels of SEO that you can look at for one individual website that a lot of times are missed.
That's a lot of detail, man. I know just we've had and the things that I've learned and changed on my website, right? Like, you said earlier, having the headings, right? Having the keyword in your heading, then also having the keyword in the first paragraph that goes on the page, so that kind of Google knows, or whoever it is that shows this, we're going to be talking about this on this page. And then you were talking also about doing bold, like making sure that your keywords are in bold so that people know that's what you're talking about. And then there's also a thing about links, right? You talked about the on-page SEO, which means there's got to be off-page SEO too. Talk to us about how do you boost your SEO ratings with things that happen off the page?
Okay. So you always want to link, you want to anchor or create an anchor text, and that's where you see that hyperlink. And you want to hyperlink to somewhere that's outside of your website to another authoritative site. So for instance, let's say you have an article about shoes, and there's a really, really good article about shoes in Ebony magazine. You want to actually link out to that Ebony magazine article for something that's descriptive, not actually the keyword shoes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the one that took me so long to figure out, because you taught that one 3 or 4 times before I got it. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I want to rank, and we'll keep it simple, if I want to word shoes, and then I go and I connect a link to that Ebony magazine article about shoes, and I link it to the word shoes inside of my article, then I'm basically telling Google, hey, if you want to know about shoes, you need to go to this place that is not my website. You need to go somewhere else, which is basically giving that site more authority and is pulling authority away from your site. But instead, anything that you mention shoes, if you link that to something to be linked inside your website so that it's telling Google this is the place to learn about shoes. And then if they want to learn anything associated with it, I might link, high top Converse, and then link that to the other website. And that way the word shoes is always to my website, but then I'm also giving people access to other information that's at authoritative websites without telling Google, I don't know about shoes, this person does. Does that make sense? Is that what I'm saying?
Hey, you got it. You nailed it right on.
Nice.
There.
I learn things. I learn stuff, people. I learn things when it takes 4 or 5 times for me to get it, but I learn.
Well, you did a great job of learning, man.
So
did a great job.
Yeah. What are some of those other secrets? What are you talk about crossing the T's, dotting the I's? What are some of those other things that that people overlook most when it comes to doing this SEO, on page, off page, links, whatever?
Well, off page would be like the directory listings. So, for instance, Google gives everyone a free website. The one thing you should always do, no matter what, if you're an online business or a brick and mortar business, is claim that Google My Business listing. So that's the first and foremost thing that everybody almost misses. And that's, you want to make sure that all your phone numbers are correct. All of your addresses are correct. So if your address is 123 Main Street, if you use ST, then across the internet, you want all your address to be 123 Main ST, not STREET. If you want to have a number, you want to put a pound, the hash sign with the number. You don't want to put NO, things like that. So those are, then of course you have directories. So, and directories are like the Bob Black podcast directory where a business can go and get listed there. That's, another authoritative site, authoritative link where you're actually linking back to yourself. You're getting out a link back to yourself, but someone is saying that they should come to you as a resource.
Okay.
So if I were a shoe manufacturer, or let's say was a coffee roaster, and I want to be known for coffee roasting, then I would go and list my coffee roasting business with as many individual directories as possible.
Okay.
That way Google gets signals that says, hey, if you want to know about a coffee roasting business, there's a coffee roasting business that's right here.
Got it.
And that's something else that's often missed, or that's a tip.
Okay.
A tip and a trick that'll actually boost you in the rankings as opposed to someone else. That Google My Business is huge though. I can't tell you how many times if I'm doing a search for a business and I look over in the right hand box and I see it's own this business, that means that they haven't taken the time to go in and actually start to claim their online persona.
Okay.
And so when a business does that, they're given it. That's another positive ranking factor to say to Google, hey, this person is who they say they are. It's all about authority. It's who says who is good.
Okay.
And ultimately you want Google to say you're good. That's the 100. Google has authority of 100. So if Google says you're good, then you know what? You're good.
All right. What else we got? What are some of the other things that we overlook?
Something else that's overlooked is, let me see, as title tags is in the meta description is actually talking about what you're about a 3-sentence paragraph talking about giving a description of what the blog post is about or your product post. There's something else that's called schema. Schema markup is something that a lot of local businesses are starting to do. And that's what if you see, if you look on a business, let's say you do a search like restaurants in Portland.
Okay.
And sometimes you'll see a restaurant that'll come up and it'll have like 5 stars next to it. Well, they've done what's called a schema markup. So they've been able to pull in the reviews from another website and have been able to actually link those or attach those inside of their particular blog post. So Google now is giving an additional bit of authority to that particular blog page. So that's something else. That's another little trick.
I like it. All right. I mean, I'm just gonna keep asking more questions. You know, what else we got? Because every time we talk, you teach me like 5 new things. So I'm just like, all right, what's next? I'm taking notes left and right as we're talking.
Okay, yeah. The suggested as. So, for instance, if you're looking for keywords, there's one place you can always go to, and that's the Google Keyword Planner, and that's free. So if you just did a Google search and you just did a search that said Google Keyword Planner, it'd give you the chance to be able to go in and sign up for a free Google AdWords campaign. You use your Gmail address. You create a Gmail address or use one that you already have. They give you a free AdWords account. Now, AdWords is a competitive bidding platform. So if you're wanting to go as a marketer and find some really low hanging, which would be a high volume keywords that are at a very low cost per click, you would go to Google Keyword Planner, and that's where you can build a keyword campaign around.
Okay.
So let's say if you want to, you're coming up with a blog post about, let's go back to coffee. If I'm coming up with a blog post about Indonesian coffee, so I would go to Google Keyword Planner, and then I would type in as a suggestion, Indonesian coffee. And then Google would give me the search volumes or potential search volumes for everything around Indonesian coffee. And so then I could actually plan a blog post or plan a product post or revamp a product post around all those keywords that Google has given me. They'll even give you the difficulty, and they'll say high to medium to low. Well, you always want to go very high volume and very low difficulty.
Okay.
That means a lot of people looking for an answer, but there's nobody really giving a good result. Something else, another tip out there is, let's say you're doing just a general overall, just a search. You want to rank your product, rank a coffee bean, a coffee product or a coffee blog post about French presses. I would type in French press blog post as a search. Well, usually you'll see a date as to when was the last date that a blog post was done. Mm-hmm. And if you see an older date, so let's say you saw something like December 10th, 2011, then Google's telling you that there's nothing that's brand new. Nobody's put out anything new around this particular keyword. So if you go and you look at that particular post and you add some additional content to it, then you're going to outrank that new post. You're going to outrank that post because you're giving fresh, relevant, and new content.
Okay. I like it. It sounds to me like with SEO, and again, this is kind of me analyzing the things you're saying, with so much competition out there, I mean, there's literally millions and millions, actually, we're talking web pages, not sites, so it's probably billions of web pages that are out there. It's trillions. Yeah, it's trillions of web pages out there, and we're trying to rank ourselves high enough that people find us for things that they're actually searching for. And so what I'm hearing here is we cross the T's, we dot the I's on all of those little kind of what we might think of as nitpicky things that kind of make us stand out. But then also the content that we build to put on our sites, we want to find the content that is almost being overlooked by the rest of the people in the market, and yet people want. So we're trying to find those little gaps in the market and say, okay, where can I slide in where a lot of people will be able to see immediately, but there's not a whole bunch of folks who are trying to occupy that space.
Exactly. Exactly. You got
I
it.
think for me, that's a key thing, because I think other people may do this as well, but for me, I spend a lot of time thinking, okay, well, what are other people looking for? And I just go and immediately try to put that information out there. I don't put the effort in to find out, well, where's the gap, right? Where's the gap in the market where people are looking, and I'm going to be one of the few people that they're going to be able to find. So I think that's a key new thing that I learned right there. There's another really cool thing that you told me a while back that I want to share with the audience, and I'll let you speak on it. But it really hit me as a hugely valuable way to look at this whole SEO thing, because this whole thing is by Black, right? The podcast is all about promoting and connecting Black business owners so that we can get more exposure in the market, so that we can get more customers buying our products, so that our businesses are more solvent and we make money and we can increase our economics. And you talked to me about kind of how you fit into that picture and what your goal is on a long term when it comes to connecting with Black businesses. So talk a little bit about that, because I love your mission.
Yeah. So my goal is to say is if someone were to do a search, because normally when people make a purchase, they only buy what's on the first. No, really, if you're past the second page, you might as well be on the millionth page. Mm-hmm. My goal is to put all Black businesses on the first 2 pages. So if you go down that list, basically every business you see is a Black one. So the only choice that you would see would be a Black business.
And I love that, because it takes all the other mess out of it, right? Because people on the other side of this argument are like, well, we shouldn't be specifically promoting Black-owned business. That's racist. They should be able to stand on their own in the market. And if they can't, then that's just because they're not good enough, and I wouldn't have bought from them anyway. And completely ignoring the fact that, we do have a harder time getting our hands on revenue. We do have a hard time getting our hands on money from investors or from lenders for us to be able to go out and spend money to market ourselves, so that we can get in people and we can show that our quality is as good as or better. Because ultimately, a lot of our Black-owned businesses are products and better quality than what's out there in the commercial market. But because we don't get the eyes on our businesses and our products, then we don't get the sales. We don't get the revenue. So I love your idea of, if I can help you rank your business to where it's on the first page, then more people are going to spend money regardless of whether you're a Black business or not. And they don't even know it. They don't care, right? It's a good company. It's the first thing that came up on Google, so it must be good. And I'm gonna spend my money there. And that's just another way to help get more Black businesses, more revenue coming in. So I love that idea. The important thing though is going to be, of course, getting every single person in this audience has a website and hasn't gone through to do SEO optimization to give Darrin a call. Because I guarantee you, everything that we've talked about in this show so far, there's like 50 million more things that you're going to learn when you start talking to them, because it just blows out and your pages start doing better. I know mine did. So what I want to do now is I want to turn a corner and ask you a question about the challenges that you face. This can be about the SEO company. This can be about, coffee company or anything in your career. What is the biggest challenge that you have come up against, and how did you face that challenge and overcome it?
I'd say the biggest challenge that I've probably ever faced is, and it's something that I guess as Black men or Black people, we always going to kind of focus on, is being recognized for who we are and who I am. And the only way that I've been able to overcome it is by really kicking in the door and saying, hey, I'm here. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You're going to respect it. You're going to respect what it is. And, that was kind of the thing that happened with the coffee is I wanted to be big. I wanted to look big like everybody else, because I was going to make them respect me, and I was going to say, hey, you know what? I'm playing on a national level. You guys are still playing locally.
I love it. And I think that's the underlying thing that we that we haven't openly talked about when it comes to this SEO thing is doing good search engine optimization is a great way for you to be able to look big without having to spin big.
Exactly. That's just, that's probably one of the best investments that you could make. I think that was a question that you had, is like, all right, should I spend money doing this or should I spend money doing SEO? And it's like, yeah, man, you need to be doing some SEO because, because that's going to be what's the most important with anything, because you have to be found.
Yeah.
You have to be found.
And, and it was the best advice too, because from the point that I got that website up, luckily I connected with you right as I was getting the website up, but from the point that I got that website up and I started, doing the blog posts and doing the posts on the website with the YouTube videos and with the connections of everything else, not only did the number of downloads of the show take a dramatic increase, but the number of emails that I've been getting from people, the number of folks who have been set up to actually be on the show, all of that has kind of taken off without me doing much of anything, right? I'm just continuing to put out my content, but the way that it's positioned on the search engine has been bringing more people to it. So I thank you for that advice, because it was absolutely true. Doing the SEO is what is going to help you get where you want to be with your business faster than almost anything that you're going to put time, energy, or money into.
Yeah.
So next question I have here is, what's coming up next for you? What next? And what is it that we as an audience can do to kind of help you achieve that?
Well, what's coming up coming next, man, is just want to put these kids through college, man. So that's coming up next. Is put these kids through college. And how can you guys help me, man? By becoming customers. That really is the number one way that anyone can help, and that can help a business be successful, is by becoming customers. And not just becoming customers, but becoming customers because you want to be customers. Not out of an obligation, but it's something that you really see a value in the service that I provide, and you're receptive to the service that I'm willing to provide, and it's actually, you see a benefit in it that you're willing to pay a premium for.
Absolutely. And there's a great way to kind of get into that funnel, if you will, is Darrin will go through, already have a web presence, right? Whether it's a blog, whether it's a product page for service page for your company, whatever that is. Darrin can come in, he can actually go through your page, do a SEO audit, and give you feedback on where that website stands and things that you can do to improve it. And I'll let you go into more detail about that, kind of what all is entailed with an SEO audit that you can get from SEO.
As far as what the audit is, the audit would be would essentially go up to 1,000 pages and would look at every issue, error, everything you could imagine that could be wrong with the website, and then give you out a report to say, all right, this is what it is, and let's talk about ways to fix it. Now the price for that audit, up to 1,000 pages would be $200. So that's really kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, and that money well spent, right? I mean, yeah. Especially when you're talking about making a change that's going to get you more visibility in perpetuity on the search engines. That's a deal, man.
Yeah, it is. It really is, man. Yeah, it really is. It was a great deal, man. But again, remember I was talking about the unrefusable offer.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't refuse it when I got the offer, so it worked on me, and I'm still reaping the benefits. So I appreciate that. So with that, if we do have folks out in the audience who want to take you up on that offer, and again, remember we're talking here for this Black-owned business, and if you are out there in the marketplace, if you built your own website, or if somebody else built your website and you're not seeing the kind of return that you expected on it, you definitely want to hook up with Darrin. Not only is he motivated to help you get out to that first page on Google, but he's also going to be able to connect you with other folks who can help you out in the web space and the online space. So what are the ways that people can get in contact with you, Darrin, if they do want to take you up on that unrefusable offer?
Just head to my website, just rotelseo.com. So it's, or you can just type in Indiana SEO and we'll show up. We'll show up first or second.
So I'm typing,
Indiana.
I'm typing right now.
Yeah. It should be first or second or something like, we bounce up in there first, second, third.
So I just typed in Indiana SEO. The first thing that comes up is Google Maps is the first thing that pops up. I have Rotel SEO 5 stars internet marketing service, Indianapolis, and then followed by a couple of other companies below you. So yeah. Just type in Indiana SEO and you will get Rotel SEO because this man is excellent at what he does. So with that, on Rotel SEO, you go to the webpage and you can, send a message to Darrin directly on that webpage. It's also got his phone number. It's got an email directly at the top of rotelseo.com. Right next to that logo with the honey badger, which again, I love it. We rank where we want. So good deal, man. Before we get out of here, I got to hit you with the final question. What is your number one piece of advice to everybody out there in the Buy Black podcast community?
Listen. Really listen and listen and take action with the speed of instruction. So I guess that's 2 pieces. Yeah. Take action with the speed of instruction.
Wait, hold. You had to have gotten that from somewhere. All right. So listen and take action with the speed of instruction. Explain that one to me. I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
So if you talk to another business owner, if you talk to a customer or to someone that has got some advice about your business, then listen to what they're actually saying. You have to be completely dispassionate about if their feelings really don't matter. And when you get that answer or you get that advice or you get something and you look at it from a dispassionate point of view, then you got to take it and you got to run with that piece of advice.
I love it. Yeah, so you and I, we've had definitely a few of those moments where my focus is on something and then you hit up my website. You missing the bus on this thing. You need to make a change right now. And then, there's been some times where I took the advice and I'm like, yep, changing cool right now, and it has worked out in my favor. And then there's been some times where I'm like, oh man, I just don't have the energy to put towards it right now. I got to go do this. I got to do that. And sure enough, whenever I get around later on, immediate change, immediate improvement. So I love it. I love advice. All right. So, you got anything else for the group? Anything else for the listeners before we hop out of here today?
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me on, man. And man, to be honest with you, man, buy black, man. Buy right, buy black.
I love it. All right, y'all. Well, that is it for this episode number 33 of Buy Black Podcast. We are out of here, and we'll catch you in the next episode. All right, guys, that's it. Another episode in the books. As promised, Darrin brought all sorts of SEO knowledge and guruism to the show today. And I just have to give my personal shout out back to him and let you guys know, not only is Darrin, the search engine optimization expert that I brought onto the show, but the reason we connected is because I was right there getting ready to bring Buy Black Podcast online, and I knew that there was a lot about search engine optimization that I didn't understand, a lot of things that I should have been doing, a lot of T's that should have been crossed, a lot of I's that should have been dotted that I just didn't know to do. And so putting my online presence out there for you guys to be able to find the show, to be able to connect with each other, it was really important to me to get some of those things right from the very beginning. And that was what I brought to my friend George Middleton, who immediately pointed me towards Darrin. And I'm telling you, it was over the course of 2 days, a weekend, that he went through and he optimized all the previous episodes of the show so that they would be able to get found on the website. And then he's been giving me tips and advice on how to continue to improve my visibility ever since. He is a wealth of knowledge. And the other thing is he is passionate. He's obviously passionate about his businesses and his family, but he's passionate about helping Black entrepreneurs and business owners win. And he's constantly out there just looking to see what is the landscape out in the world, in the World Wide Web, and how can we rank higher? How can we improve our presence? And he's constantly there to teach, to give, to show, to consult, which is what he does, and kind of help us do things better. So reach out to Darrin when you have the opportunity. If you have any type of online presence, check it out. Get that $200 audit done for your site. He can go through and he can check out all the things that can be optimized, should be optimized. And the great thing is, he doesn't just keep it to himself. He doesn't just say, hey, I can figure out what needs to be changed if you pay me some money. No, he'll go ahead and go in there and he'll teach you how to do it. He'll teach you how to optimize going forward, so you don't have to go back and review and change things later. The man is just great at what he does. So I know this episode was all about him and his knowledge, but I just had to come behind it and remind you guys, like, it's real. The help he's done for the show, the help he's done for our website over here at Buy Black Podcast is real. The things that he can do to help you and your online presence are real too. So reach out to Darrin. I don't have anything beyond that tonight. It was a great episode. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Had a happy Easter, and we're going to start off April right. So y'all have a great evening, and we will catch you in the next episode.